All right, so I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive on some of the math and writing tool systems going into this conversation system. So, what I've got here is kind of my writing tool environment for not just getting the writing into the game, but assigning all of the data that needs to go alongside it for everything to work. So there's this kind of previs writing tool that I have side by side. So I've got it here, little check text boxes and stuff, and you can see, as I write here, it pops up in the left window, and this is more representative of what the game is. And at any time, I can hit the play button and jump in there. But so here's what's going on. So the player text boxes kind of come in blue, and whatever AI is selected, whatever character is going to be in gray over here. But each character kind of has their own color. So whenever there's a group conversation, then it's easier to distinguish at that point too. So this is like a conversation that happens after the first day of school, where the teacher has come to take a liking to the player, and the kind of runner-up best student in class is a little bit irritated. So you're giving a bit of a hard time. And you can see, so this is in simple mode. So this is designed to make it as fast as possible and to get into the whole writing process. Just go back and forth in the exchange, and then you would step over to the linear or the deep side of the process. So this is just a conversation that I've blocked out, and I'm gonna need to work with a dedicated writer or add in some of the properties myself. So what you can see, a lot has changed between simple and deep, but basically it's just exposing all the parameters. So I've got this top slider, which represents the primary emotion of expression that the player will see. So before, in other videos, when you're seeing clean and dumb, that would be a combination of these two things. So if you do clean and you do dumb, that's going to come up as obvious. If you do clean and then dumb is the secondary, it's going to be bland, and so on and so forth, with all these different combinations. So that can be really, really, really fun to kind of play around with. All in all, there's 12 by 12 combinations. So you've got, and then you can also do a 0, 1. So I guess it's actually 13 by 13 combinations. So there's a lot of different expressions that the player will see. And these like descriptive words, so friendly, serious is sincere, mean something. Sincere is always a friendly primary, which is double damage, and a serious secondary damage, which is just normal damage. So you can kind of see all the different things that go in there. So I'm really excited about that system. It's a consistent damage type or damage system that you'll see throughout the game. Now, based on what you're talking about, you'll have options, that are a kind you like or don't like, or you think is strategic or not. That's all based on how many options the writer gives the player, or in some cases, how many options the player is allowed to give themselves. There's a lot of possibilities for a system like this. Anyways, so I think the texture is a big fun of me. That might be, kind of dumb and funny, maybe. So that pops up an expression of cute. And then a really cool thing to have is, so her reaction is probably not a 0. So this is her reaction on a scale of 0 to 10. So if she has a 10 out of 10, then she's excited. If it's a 0 out of 10, it's angry. Right now, the mood source is set to nothing. So her reactions are just based on the zone and not to what you're saying. But when we set the react source, to 0, now what the AI is doing, it's taking the primary expression of what you're saying. So that would be dumb in this case. So you're 2x dumb, 1x funny is what cute is. So she's reacting to you being dumb, and if she loves it, then her reaction is merry. If she's mostly positive, then chill, humoring. If it's slightly neutral, unimpressed, and then disdainful if she really hates. So So maybe it would be, a humoring or unimpressed would be how I would rate this dialogue. And if I wanted to add, a scale, so this would just be she's always saying "Pff" in response, but maybe your relationship is at a point where she would, she's still at a neutral with you. So this kind of bar that's happening here is representing where she's coming from and where she ends up based on her reaction to this. So if it's close enough to the center, so it's only a mile, so she might be like, okay. It's the first day. So that, might represent like, her being a little bit more, playful with that, but maybe a really positive reaction. That might be tough to write because in this situation, she's, really not that huge of a fan of, you being cocky about how the first day of class went, but like, maybe, calling me the teacher's pet. I don't know, something like that could be a very positive reaction. I'm not sure. But yeah. Oops, I moved this one instead of the other one. So yeah, so you see now these 3 circles represent her reaction zones, and then based on the different expressions the player has. So so this is a different way to say the same thing. Expression options. Actually, oh no, I added it in the wrong place. This is a different meaning. Oops. I'm supposed to add it here. It's a little bit confusing, and I'm still working on ways to improve it. But so expression options mean the same thing, which allow it to connect to all the same different AI reactions, and that's what's really powerful about this system. So loves me. You could say something like that. So that would be maybe funny and confident. Let's see what comes up with that. Cool. Let's see. Maybe confident and like silly. What would be that? Arrogant. Yeah, maybe arrogant. Maybe captivating. Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's confident and funny. But you'll notice something really fascinating has changed, where she's actually based on the primary emotion that you're using. So in this case, you're using a confident primary. So again, double damage is the primary emotion. Her reactive emotion is based upon that. So you say something confident. If she really loves it, then she's reacting in a devoted way. If she's a more medium reaction, encouraged, and if it's more negative, then she's unsure. She's doubting your confidence. So it's a really cool thing that happens depending on what you express. Even if she says the same thing, she's expressing in a different way. And that's representative of the interaction with the damage. Anyways, you would progress, through the system. And let's see. He wanted me to join some stupid literature club. This is probably you being a little bit mean, but also funny. Yeah, maybe it's more funny than it is mean. Sassy. You would have to decide. I don't. I don't think the player is in such a negative mood at this moment. But Poppy's gonna have maybe a more negative reaction to that, so maybe it comes out as a 3, and this is maybe a lot more than that, so maybe she's reacting twice to what you're saying. So this is just the mood source, so you can see it's dragging, it's getting the funny it's getting the funny from what you're saying. So if you had another tone option, what are we saying? Maybe a more neutral tone. He said, This would be a more of a maybe a timid mean, or maybe timid and dumb, or timid, just sheepish. Yeah, maybe just this is relatively clean because it's not being too aggressive compared to that. So you can see that her reactive emotions have changed. And one of the tricks that can make this more difficult is the meaning of these two things expressed in different ways has to be the same in order for her responses to make sense for both. So I think it does. It does here, but if it ever doesn't, then instead of adding a different expression option, you would add a different meaning option. And you can see, oh, oops, I added it up here. Oh no, it jumped down here. You can see that when I switch to this other meaning option, it's not assuming that this will be connected to the same sets of replies. So I can say, okay, they're both going to go to that, but more likely, this would be a branch. So you would want to go to, let's see, what's this do? No, that's for the different option. Ideally, you would add another thing here. So there should be a generate. Let's see. Oh, maybe it has to be on -1 first. Oh no, yeah. Let's see. To branch. All right, so what this should do is go to a completely new option. So maybe I have to add that first. So the new option ends up giving an 18. Okay, so it's looking for that. Yeah, so if I say something completely different here, instead of saying, he's talking about a club, I could say, I'm really excited about the occult club. You should consider joining. Completely different meaning from casually referencing it, even though you're talking about the same topic. And so maybe her sets of reactions are going to be more positive to this, of course. Maybe this is you being, maybe it's you being friendly and clean. Maybe it's maybe friendly and smart. Maybe just dumb. Yeah. I like the word encouraging. I don't know if that reads as very smart, though. Yeah, maybe just happy. So she's, again, her reaction emotion is actually being driven by this. And you can see that, so within this meaning of being excited, now we've only got one expression option because that's what we've added. So we could add a second expression option. So what's a different way to say that I'm excited about the club? Occult club. Let's go. This might be more confident and maybe it's more yeah, eccentric is pretty good. Yeah, maybe unique and clean. Maybe unique and dumb. It's kind of dorky. Yeah, maybe that's unique and funny. So now she should be reacting to this. Oh, it's not getting its mood source from the right place. It needs to be getting it from 2. Yeah, so she's reacting to the uniqueness. And again, if she's having a really, really positive, she's fascinated by you, tolerated, and these are descriptive words of how she's expressing herself. Or just if she really hates you at this point, then then she's feeling weirded out. So anyways, you build this system. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's currently linked up, but because I've got a keyboard script that I'm adding. But normally what would happen is that after you edit it, it will pop up the actual conversation here on play mode. I'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. It'll pop up the actual options, and I think I've got some like keyboard constraints to be able to talk through it. Let's see. Might be searching for the VR headset. Yeah. Yeah, the keyboard stuff is stopping it, but I'll show you in the next video the way that it kind of generates to a nice little preview editor. But yeah, that's how it works. Again, really excited about the way the expression system works, and how you can choose not just what you say, but the way you say it. Yeah. All right. See you next time.